What could cause one of the world's most prestigious fashion events to exclude a rising entertainment company from their coveted nomination list at the last minute, effectively destroying travel plans and crushing the hopes of two of China's biggest stars who had already prepared extensively for what should have been their triumphant international debut as a couple at Paris Fashion Week? The fashion and entertainment industries erupted into absolute chaos yesterday, when news broke that Zhao Lusi and Liu have been forced to cancel their highly anticipated appearance at Paris Fashion Week after Zhao Lusi's entertainment company was shockingly excluded from the official nomination list, a devastating snub that has sparked intense speculation about whether this rejection represents legitimate business decisions based on industry standards, or something far more sinister, involving backstage politics, competitive sabotage, or even discrimination against Chinese entertainment companies trying to break into the traditionally Western-dominated high-fashion world. The timing of this rejection, coming just days before Zhao Lusi and Liu were scheduled to depart for Paris with an entire team prepared for appearances, interviews and showcases, has left both stars reportedly devastated and humiliated, with sources close to the situation describing Zhao Lusi as being in tears upon learning that her company's exclusion means she and Liu will not be attending an event they had been publicly excited about, and that had generated enormous anticipation among their millions of fans worldwide. Why would Paris Fashion Week organizers wait until the absolute last minute to inform Zhao Lusi's company of their exclusion from the nomination list? And does the fact that several other Chinese entertainment companies with less prominent celebrity leadership were accepted suggest that this rejection is specifically targeting Zhao Lusi, or is responding to her increasingly public relationship with Liu in ways that reflect outdated attitudes about celebrity relationships and professional credibility? Multiple sources within the fashion industry have come forward with conflicting accounts of what led to Zhao Lusi's company being excluded, with some insiders claiming that the company simply did not meet the technical requirements or industry standards that Paris Fashion Week maintains for nominated participants, while others whisper about behind-the-scenes pressure from established fashion houses and Western entertainment companies who view rising Chinese competitors as threats to their dominance and market position. The fact that Zhao Lusi's company has been making significant inroads in fashion collaborations and has been developing innovative approaches to integrating entertainment and fashion in ways that challenge traditional industry structures lends credibility to theories that this exclusion represents competitive gatekeeping rather than legitimate quality concerns, raising troubling questions about whether international fashion institutions are truly open to innovation and diversity, or whether they remain closed clubs protecting established power structures against ambitious newcomers. But here is the detail that has legal experts and business analysts absolutely convinced that something deeply inappropriate occurred in Paris Fashion Week's decision-making process. Leaked internal communications suggest that Zhao Lusi's company was initially included on preliminary nomination lists and had been proceeding through the standard evaluation process with every indication of approval, only to be abruptly removed at the final stage after what sources describe as intervention from unspecified concerned parties, whose identity and motivations remain mysterious, but whose influence was apparently sufficient to override the judgment of the selection committee members who had been advocating for Zhao Lusi's company's inclusion. The existence of these preliminary approvals followed by sudden reversal suggests that the exclusion was not based on straightforward evaluation of Zhao Lusi's company against published standards, but rather resulted from political or competitive maneuvering that occurred outside normal processes, and that Paris Fashion Week organizers are now attempting to obscure through vague references to nomination criteria, without providing specific explanation of what criteria Zhao Lusi's company failed to meet. The refusal to provide clear justification for the exclusion despite multiple requests from Zhao Lusi's representatives has intensified suspicions that the decision cannot withstand scrutiny, and was made for reasons that organizers know would be controversial or potentially actionable if made public. The preparation that Zhao Lusi, Liu and their teams had undertaken for Paris Fashion Week was extensive and expensive, involving months of planning, custom wardrobe creation, coordination with stylists and designers, arrangement of meetings with fashion industry figures, and publicity campaigns building anticipation for their attendance. Sources close to both stars describe the Paris Fashion Week appearance as having been positioned as a major career milestone and an opportunity to elevate their international profiles, while showcasing Zhao Lusi's company's innovative approaches to fashion entertainment integration. The fact that all this preparation and investment has now been wasted due to the sudden exclusion has created not just disappointment, but significant financial losses and professional embarrassment that will have lasting impacts regardless of how the immediate situation is resolved. Zhao Lusi's reaction to learning about her company's exclusion from Paris Fashion Week has been described by those close to her as devastated and deeply personal, with the rejection apparently feeling less like a routine business decision and more like a direct statement about her and her company's worth and legitimacy in the international fashion community. Witnesses report that when Zhao Lusi received the formal notification of exclusion, she broke down crying and spent hours in her office refusing to speak with anyone except Liu Yuning, who apparently canceled his own scheduled activities to be with her and provide emotional support during what sources describe as one of the most difficult moments of her professional life. The fact that this rejection affects not just her own attendance but also Liu Yuning's planned appearance, as his invitation was contingent on his association with her company, has apparently added to Zhao Lusi's distress as she feels responsible for his disappointment in addition to her own. Liu Yuning's response to the Paris Fashion Week cancellation has been reportedly focused less on his own disappointment and more on his fury at how Zhao Lusi and her company have been treated, with sources describing him as making numerous angry phone calls to his own industry contacts, attempting to understand what happened and who was responsible for the exclusion decision. Some reports suggest that Liu Yuning has been contacting fashion industry figures he knows personally to express his displeasure with Paris Fashion Week's handling of the situation, and to make clear that he views the exclusion as inappropriate and potentially discriminatory. The fact that he is willing to potentially damage his own relationships within the fashion industry by vocally supporting Zhao Lusi and criticizing a prestigious institution demonstrates once again his prioritization of her well-being and professional success over his own strategic interests. The official explanation provided by Paris Fashion Week organizers for Zhao Lusi's company's exclusion has been brief and maddeningly vague, citing only that the company did not meet the established criteria for nomination, without specifying which criteria were not met or providing any detail that would allow for understanding or potential remediation. This lack of transparency has been criticized by business ethics experts and legal analysts, who note that when organizations make decisions that significantly impact applicants' interests and reputations, basic fairness requires providing specific rationale that allows for assessment of whether the decision was appropriate and consistent with stated standards. The refusal to provide such specific rationale despite multiple requests suggests that Paris Fashion Week organizers either cannot articulate legitimate grounds for the exclusion or are deliberately obscuring the actual reasons because they know those reasons would be controversial or legally problematic. Industry insiders who have spoken anonymously about the Paris Fashion Week situation describe a complex behind-the-scenes environment where Chinese entertainment companies' increasing prominence and innovation in fashion integration has created anxiety and resentment among some established Western fashion houses and entertainment entities who view this competition as threatening their market dominance and traditional ways of operating. Several sources suggest that there has been coordinated effort among some of these threatened parties to limit Chinese companies' access to prestigious international platforms like Paris Fashion Week, using various pretexts and procedural barriers to exclude competitors while maintaining plausible deniability about discriminatory intent. If these allegations are accurate, Zhao Lusi's company's exclusion would represent not an isolated incident but rather one example of a broader pattern of protectionist gatekeeping that raises serious concerns about fairness and openness in international fashion industry institutions. The timing of the exclusion notification, coming just days before scheduled departure for Paris, has been particularly criticized as either incompetent planning by Paris Fashion Week organizers who should have completed their evaluation process much earlier or deliberate cruelty, designed to maximize the embarrassment and financial harm to Zhao Lusi and her company by waiting until substantial resources had been expended on preparation before delivering the rejection. The practical consequences of such late notification extend beyond just canceled travel plans to include wasted expenditures on custom clothing and accessories created specifically for Paris Fashion Week events, lost opportunities that were declined because of the Paris commitment, and the humiliation of having to publicly announce the cancellation after having promoted their planned attendance to media and fans. The public announcement of the cancellation was made through Zhao Lusi's company's official social media accounts with a carefully worded statement acknowledging that they would not be attending Paris Fashion Week due to their exclusion from the nomination list and expressing disappointment while maintaining professional dignity and avoiding direct attacks on Paris Fashion Week organizers.